Welcome to BitBoy Crypto. This is Friday. This is Around the Blockchain. Home of the BitSquad here. Gosh, I just can't believe we're here on another Friday, closing out a month. Crypto, am I right? Anyway, welcome to Around the Blockchain. We got a great show for you. Who do we got on deck? We got the founder of Edge Wallet, a crypto insider and OG. We got Paul Puey. Check out his new NFT drop on Wax. Just went yesterday. That's CryptoStache, our other Friday staple. You can check him out later after this stream on the Crypto Rewind show. That's RiceTVx. And I don't see the bolo tie or the cowboy hat quite yet. But if you're going to the meetup in Nashville tomorrow, you may just see that. It is Ben Armstrong. It's Friday, like I said before. We are about to get into Around the Blockchain. Very excited. We got a great show for you today. Yay. If this is your first time watching, you see everybody's got a little zero in the box down below. If you're in the chat and you like what they're saying, make sure to hit a +1, and we will give these guys some points. Whoever's got the most points at the end of the show is going to leave us with a little bit of a parting word. All right, what are we going to talk about today? Bitcoin tipping is live on Twitter. That's exciting. I know that's been long anticipated. Big business loves blockchain, and we'll wrap it up with everyone's favorite story, China. Once again, fudding crypto. How many times does this have to happen? Come on.
This could be
happened since 2013.
Like every other month. You could have this topic every other month, and it would just fit right in.
It would, but we know the markets are pumped. They're ready to go. And what, in 2017, I think it was 2017 or 2018, that was like the first time that China tried to kill it, after we kind of
not the first, 2013, 2014. They've been doing this since I've known about crypto. Before that.
Yeah.
It's been,
it's not dead yet. So
monthly too since May. It's been monthly since May, not every other month.
Yep. All right. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, we know the markets are ready to get rolling. And speaking of the markets, let's get into market watch before we get into the show. Cryptocurrency. Here we go. We've got a global crypto market of 1.89 trillion. That is almost 5% down over yesterday. Bitcoin, man, it just chilling at 41,861, down 12% almost on the week. ETH.
That's not right, Justin. That's not right. Refresh that.
You got to refresh that page, brother.
I thought CoinMetrics.
I'm seeing a little bit higher.
Oh, there we go. 43. Wow, it pumped before we went
now
live.
It feels like moon.
Hey, I'm feeling much better.
I know, with moon just now.
Wow.
Thank you. Thanks for telling me to refresh. I love that. All right, so almost 43,000 now on Bitcoin, 2,900 on ETH. Cardano coming at 229. That's up a little bit on the day, looking good. Tether holding strong at $1. Like to see that. All right, guys.
You gotta see that.
Yeah, right.
If we don't see that, that's when you panic. Really, I mean.
Wait, there's some correlation.
It's not at $1. What's going on?
There is some correlation to it when
it's
like $1 versus 99 cents. There is some kind of market sentiment that goes that way. Is that correct? If we're something like that. All right.
I typically see actually Tether move based on people wanting to sell Bitcoin or buy Bitcoin. And I don't know if people notice that. It's just moving by just a tiny bit. When a lot of people are looking to sell, Tether actually starts to pump in price.
I like it.
And there's actually even a slight arbitrage action between other stable coins. So USDC versus like BUSD or Tether too. Like you'll see that a lot of times too when you're swapping.
All right, go chase those stable coins.
A whole 0.001%. Woohoo!
Woo! The big bucks.
Hey man, if you're talking about $10 million, that actually might be significant.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
you got $10 million stash?
Dusty significant.
Arbitrage those stable coins. All right, it looks like 2,900 viewers and 463 likes. Let's make sure we get that up because these guys are bringing you some great content. Make sure you go down to the description and follow, like, and subscribe. Everything that they're doing, they're awesome. I love them all. And that brings us in to today's show. All right, let's start with Bitcoin tipping live. Twitter wants to put some coin in your purse. Social media platform Twitter has officially rolled out its tips function worldwide with a Bitcoin integration included via the Lightning Network. Now, you can also tip in fiat, but for places where that's difficult, you just tip right in Bitcoin. Many analysts are saying that the Bitcoin tipping feature may become a world leader in remittances payments through their tipping system, beating Western Union and some other competitors. Let's see, Paul, I'm going to start with you. It's my first time hanging out with you on this show here, so I'll get you the first question. Are you going to add Bitcoin wallet address so that people can tip you?
So a Bitcoin wallet, sure, but my overall reaction to this Twitter tipping integration with Lightning is that this is honestly not something I'm excited about. This reminds me of the early days of ChangeTip. Who here recalls ChangeTip from back in like 2014, 2015? Fully centralized. They held all of your money. They didn't allow people to tip certain accounts. I don't know if people remember this, but back in, I think, 2015, 2016, somebody tipped ISIS on Twitter using ChangeTip, and ChangeTip flipped the hell out. I remember the CEO flipped out, had to go in and try to extract the money out of the ISIS account before they withdrew the Bitcoin. The exact same thing is going to happen here with Twitter. Let's take this beautiful, uncensored, uncensorable money, censorship resistant money that's globally accessible, and let's make it censored. Let's make it not globally accessible. From what I heard, you can't actually send these Lightning tips on Twitter to any state within the US, and definitely not any country. And so for me, this is basically take fiat tipping and just search and replace Bitcoin for it. That doesn't achieve all the goals that I'm excited about for Bitcoin. And so I hate to be the hater and the kind of downer in this situation, but it just doesn't excite me. Now putting an address, I'll put an address on my Twitter account that people can send actual transactions to, actual on-chain transactions to, even like a Lightning invoice if it's reusable, I'll put that on my account. But using the integrated system where I just specify, hey, tip so-and-so, using Strike, which is fully custodial, they hold all of your money. That I'm not excited about. I don't want to promote that people use it because once again, it's just going to promote that people have their funds held by another party. Unfortunate, but I'm not a Bitcoin or maximalist in any way except for self-custody. I'm a self-custody maximalist, and I want to see self-custody take off. This isn't it.
Absolutely. It's the modern day version of panhandling. Stache, do you think that this tipping feature is going to end up being a new version of, say, a Venmo for crypto?
A Venmo for crypto? No, and I pretty much agree with Paul on this one. We've seen a bunch of tip bots and tip features for Twitter already, and it's something you can already do, and so rolling it out natively obviously is like, oh, it's a little bit of a bigger deal because it's actually built into the platform. So I get that, but what I really see here is I see Jack Dorsey pumping his own bags, and when I say own bags, I don't just mean the Bitcoin, but I'm talking about his Cash App bags. He's pumping those Square bags. You know what I'm saying? Because that's really what this is about. Is the Bitcoin feature is just to draw a little bit more extra press to the fact that it's not just a Bitcoin tipping feature. If you guys didn't realize, it is actually just a tipping feature. So you can tip via using a connected Cash App account, is what it looks like here, and we all know that's his company as well. So I think really it's just kind of it's a way for him to kind of be consistent with his branding and what he's been doing. But who's gonna be sending Bitcoin? I mean, I'm glad that it's on Lightning at least. If it was like an on-chain transaction of Bitcoin, it would take forever and probably wouldn't be anything we want to be doing all the time. But I mean, I could see some people maybe using every once in a while, but enough to really warrant it, getting this much attention and to really be a viable option. I don't think so. Now, if we started to get some other things like maybe some stable coins, that would be interesting. I think it'd be interesting more to see that than Bitcoin. And as much as I love Bitcoin, but I could see people tipping in stable coins. Like if I could tip you in USDT, that would make sense. And I could send little, I could send you 5 cents or 2 cents or something, and we see this already with other decentralized social media applications, things like, the Hive or Steemit applications, where you can they have their own cryptos, right, built-in cryptocurrencies, and you can earn that by posting things, and people upvote you and whatnot. And so not as similar to this Twitter application, but it's not like this is brand new. So
excellent. Now, Stache, you have Android or are you on iPhone?
I'm on Android, so I'm left out, man. I can't believe why do they do this, guys? What the hell, man?
Well,
I see this happen all the time. Oh, we release it for just iOS, but Android's coming soon. Or it's the other way around. Usually it's not. Usually we get snuffed if you're on Android. Obviously the better of the two operating platforms, since it's actually open and not a closed loop like the bullshit that iOS pulls. But none of them are really that good at it. But yeah, I mean, it feels like you're leaving people out. And like, what about desktop, man? I'm on a desktop all the damn time. No love. No love.
No love for the desktop. Rice, do you think that this is going to pull market share away from Western Union as far as remittances go?
Not this tipping with Twitter specifically. No, not at all. One of the things, first of all, I want to say I agree with what Paul and Stache has said so far. And obviously, I'm not a fan of custodial type situations, especially a custodial wallet where you don't possess your private keys. I'm even hearing that there's, and I was trying to confirm this, but I wasn't able to do so before we watched, but that there's some sort of KYC that's going to be implemented as well. So it's identifying people to allow for their tracking and tracing. And I've not been a fan of the Lightning Network because I feel like that is a centralized way of keeping tabs on a decentralized blockchain. And so I kind of look at what, and if you look at what the Lightning Network and a lot of their investors, you'll see Visa, MasterCard, and a lot of the traditional financial institutions as well. Now, what's interesting about this too that we haven't mentioned is the fact that they're going to be implementing NFT authentication. And then they're also, a few weeks ago, Jack Dorsey had talked about wanting to build a Bitcoin DEX, which is interesting, a Bitcoin-focused decentralized exchange. Again, this could be for his own personal bags, but these could be things that are ultimately going to help with adoption. Being able to connect up your Cash App to like the Twitter and to be able to tip like that is ease of convenience. So I understand the argument of what you guys are saying, and I'm trying to give that little bit of a devil's advocate point of view, because it's when people are seamlessly using these technologies without even realizing that they're doing so is when we're going to start having a lot more of this type of mass adoption taking place, in my opinion. So I'm looking forward. I'm not completely against Jack Dorsey. As I've said before, he's got a whole lot of people in the Twitter organization and investors that don't want him and that have been trying to push him out. And he does seem to be very pro Bitcoin, even though he's not standing up for free speech.
All right. Would you tip Jack Dorsey if he decided to take out his nose ring?
No.
Okay.
No, not at all.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Only if he takes
I
the
just
nose
wouldn't
ring.
tip him.
Only if he takes the nose ring out and then he puts it in his belly button. Then I'd tip him. That's gangster.
Now, if he
we're
was
taking it back to the
if he
90s,
was-
y'all.
If he was my server at a restaurant, then of course I would tip him.
Okay. Okay. All right.
In the US.
Ben, I think I want to come to you in this next question now. This is about NFTs, so you can answer it if you'd like, and then Stache, because you did just drop an NFT, I'd like to get your opinion on as well. But now, like Rice had said, Twitter is also in the early stages of exploring NFT authentication, allowing users to verify that they actually are the holder of the NFT that is their profile picture. When NFT authentication goes live, are you going to be uploading any NFT that you may have as say you do the BitBoy logo as your profile picture, just to prove that, yes, this is you, because, obviously we're having problems getting your account verified by Twitter. So then if you could say, this is the BitBoy logo NFT, that's your way of sidestepping the whole verification process.
Well, I'm probably going to go with Nipception. That's an NFT that we made through Theta that was my nipple. And if we can make the entire circle of the profile picture my nipple, then I guess that I could verify and authenticate my own ownership of not only the NFT, but also of my own nipple. So that is really incredible. Really excited about that.
Idea.
Thank you so much, Stache. Yeah, thank you so much. No, I will not be authenticating any NFTs on Twitter. Guys, can we be honest? I hope people are listening to what we're all saying, because we're all basically going to be saying the same thing. This is a meme. That's what this is. This is a meme. This is nothing significant for crypto. This is nothing significant for Bitcoin. This entire thing, I would rather go cow tipping than Bitcoin tipping, to be honest with you. So I think, hopefully they don't fall over, or they don't die.
Wait, have you ever tried to cow tip? Have you legit tried to tip a cow over? It's like impossible.
I've legit not, but I do know. I mean, we're here in Georgia. I do know plenty of people who have definitely tried. So.
Well, that's our next field trip.
It's not as easy as people think.
We're gonna take the team out for cow tipping, see who can knock one over. All right, let's move on to something.
We'll call it a night with BitBoy. Just the tip.
There you go.
Just the tip.
There's a point for that one. Good
joke. Party.
All right, let's talk about how big business is loving blockchain. Before you do, make sure that you smash the like button and make sure that you go down and follow all these guests if you don't already. All right, big business is loving blockchain. It looks like mainstream adoption is on our way. 81 of the top 100 public companies are now using blockchain technology in some way. 16 are at the research stage. 65 are actively developing their blockchain solutions. and 18 companies are developing within the Ethereum network. Let's see, Paul, let's go with you again on the first question. Of these top 100 companies, I feel virtually none of them actually explain what they're doing or that it's happening behind the scenes. Do you think this is on purpose, or people actually don't care?
I think it's on purpose because they've redefined blockchain. This kind of gives me back memories of 2015 when I was wanting to vomit from every company saying that it's all about blockchain and not Bitcoin and not crypto. Even an old boss of mine from NVIDIA had said that. He goes, really? What is it about crypto and Bitcoin? And they've just been completely bombarded with media saying that, hey, this is what the thing is. I thought this had died come 2017 with Ethereum coming out and smart contracts on an actual public blockchain, but apparently it hasn't. Apparently the blockchain rhetoric is still alive, not necessarily alive and well, but still alive. But what I found is that a lot of these big companies simply tried to use actual blockchain technology, actual public blockchains, and even private blockchains that were at least using some of the mechanisms of existing cryptocurrency, and realized it didn't work, changed it and basically sliced and diced it into something that turned into a database, but still retained the blockchain terminology. Because guess what? Just like Stache said, and just like Ben said, it's a meme. It's just another way of getting the buzz and showing that they're quote unquote innovative. These large companies, which have not been able to innovate in decades, can throw on these extra words into their technology stack and claim that they're new and innovative and bleeding edge, and hopefully be able to hire developers too. But in the end, I don't think that any of this technology matters to them. And especially ask yourself one big question as far as what the value proposition of crypto is. Ask yourself if any of the money they might save in incorporating blockchain technology will actually trickle down to a single individual. Will it save me 1 penny that Chase uses blockchain technology? Would it save me a single penny if UPS uses blockchain technology? I guarantee you it won't save you a dime. So am I excited about it? No.
You don't think that if UPS puts everything on the blockchain, that maybe shipping costs start to go down because maybe they can utilize and make things go a lot faster or easier for them to do logistics?
So actually, it's interesting that you mentioned UPS, because UPS itself is a competitor to the blockchain technology that would be used by a lot of shipping companies. The biggest problem with shipping companies is that you transfer a package from one company to another, to another, to another, and the tracking of that package is very dispersed, meaning it's been between many different companies, where UPS is a single entity where the tracking of that package, because UPS is the single centralized source of truth. It becomes challenging when you have multiple entities in that entire supply chain. So really, do you simply use UPS as your supply chain management from top to bottom, from end to end, or do you try to decentralize it using some fancy blockchain technology? UPS has no interest in that because, well, they are the behemoth in that space. Other companies that are much smaller might have some interest in using this because they can't seem to agree on a single database to use. They don't want to use UPS. They don't want to trust any one company. So they might trust a blockchain, although that comes with a lot of issues that they're probably not prepared for. How do you deploy this? Who actually runs the nodes? How do you allow someone in and remove somebody if they disagree or do the wrong thing?
Very well said. Thank you, Paul. Let's see, Rice, do you expect that the number, when I said it was 81% of these top 100 companies are in blockchain, did you expect that to be too high? It seems like blockchain technology is here to stay, and no one actually knows about it. What do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, I don't know much about this company that did the, I think it's Block Data is the company that did the marketing for this, that basically talked to all these companies. So I'm not sure of who they are and being able to verify the information, but I kind of look at some of this from a different perspective. I mean, the article did mention some use cases with supply chain solutions, improving traceability and provenance, and also being applied in capital markets. It also mentions that the majority of these companies are using distributed ledger technology, which isn't necessarily the blockchain that we think about. They're using for the higher percentage, just like 26% with Hyperledger, 18% with Ethereum, and 11% with Quorum. And Hyperledger is basically a centralized private blockchain that's not immutable. So it is kind of a database, as Paul said. But now, from the business standpoint, I'm thinking about corporate social responsibility and companies wanting to be more transparent and efficient. So that was kind of what I was gathering from companies wanting to utilize this technology, because we are becoming more and more an open, transparent society in some of the business aspects, as you can see with some companies. And I think blockchain technology allows for that as well. And if used properly, especially in the supply chain management, it would definitely improve some efficiencies. And as these technologies improve and are used more widely, I definitely see this helping with reducing costs. But then at the same time, we have the economic situation with inflation and all that going on. So it's just interesting to kind of see the fact that they are doing this. And again, it could be more for buzz. It could, just for promotional purposes, but some of these companies could be actually doing it to improve their models.
Excellent. The chat is there was some things in the chat about the VeChain gang. I know that's a whole supply chain thing. Stache, really quick on this one. Do you think 4 years from now that we'll see more companies utilizing either the Cardano, Ethereum, or I don't even want to say it, but like an XRP chain, blockchain?
I don't even, dare I say XRP? I mean, XRP wasn't even really intended for other types of applications besides what it does or what people think it does. But I think that this I don't know, whatever you want to, this falsified poll here that they've made is just horseshit, man. When they talk about, okay, well, they're surveying top public companies, right? There are already hundreds and hundreds of companies successfully using actual blockchain technology and doing it, very well, just because they're not a public facing company. Now, obviously, there's a lot more to have to handle at the higher level like that. But, most of these companies are just in like the research phase, man. So you can't even really count those people. I think really when you look at it, the percentage itself of what like these large companies are actually using blockchain is very small. I'd say maybe 5%. So I think this report here is a bunch of horse shit. And I think that, it's just another opportunity for people to try and make this distinction between cryptocurrency and DLT, right? Distributed ledger technologies. To make them sound all fancy, and essentially they're just private, like Paul said, they're like private databases with all the really cool and awesome features stripped out. Because one of the great things about blockchain technology is it being accessible by all people and verifiable by all people, and therefore also usable by all people. Because then you have this interoperability, right? And I think that's a really big part that these companies are kind of missing out on, right? They want to be able to have all the control, and that's what companies are about. They want that control, man. That's what these people are all trying to do, is keep you under control so they can keep their stuff under control and extract more money from us. So even if they do that and they decide, okay, we're going to institute all these DLT technologies and it's going to save us a bunch on our bottom line, that is not, we're not going to see a reduction in price for us as a consumer. Maybe we'll see if you work for the company, maybe your pockets will get lined fatter. That's about it, man. And so, right now we're still early with this, and it's great to see some people trying some things, but I'm more impressed by a company being able to incorporate a public blockchain and do it well versus these, cookie cutter private permission, type of blockchain backends that just really are, it's nothing special. It's nothing to say, oh, look at this. I'm using a database that, kind of resembles blockchain. So no, I think that it's kind of worthless, and we're not going to really see. I don't think we're going to see any of these big companies, these top 100 companies, using anything like Cardano or Ethereum anytime soon. Maybe in the next maybe 10 years. I could see, but they're behind, man. They're just simply behind. And I think really we're going to start to see more and more of these smaller companies that understand the power and have already been building on these things for a while and making it more approachable. They're the ones that are going to start to rise to the top. You know what I'm saying? Apple wasn't a predominant company for years, man. And they had one killer product that brought them back. And so we see that a lot of times, that one killer product that really makes you rise to the top because of what you're providing to the populace. And, if a company can effectively incorporate a public blockchain, I think we'll see that more than we will see some of these other larger existing companies adapt to actual blockchains.
All right. Thank you. I would like to spend the last 10 minutes talking about the China FUD, because I know that's the chat's talking about it. The world's talking about it. Ben, I didn't give you a chance to talk about any of that when we were talking about big business. Do you got anything to add to it, or do you want to move on?
Yeah, well, China banned me talking about big business.
There's
very
a point.
sad.
There's a point.
Yeah, thanks.
All right.
And your nipples, apparently. The chat says that your nipples were also banned by China just during the show. They were like, hey, you know, breaking news, guys. Ben's nipples
breaking news.
Breaking news. I just saw the ticker fly by. Breaking news. China bans Ben's nipples.
Pasties with the BitBoy crypto logo.
They didn't look Asian enough.
This is a day that will live in infamy.
Forever.
True. I believe this.
All right, so let's get into it. And Ben, I am going to come to you the first question on this. All right, so today everybody knows China banned all crypto transactions. They're vowing to root out mining of digital assets. All crypto-related transactions will be considered illicit financial activity, including services provided by offshore exchanges, as this was posted by the People's Bank of China website. And this caused almost a 10% crash in Bitcoin. My question to you, Ben, is what's the advice for people who are new to China, the new China FUD? Can you talk them off the ledge real quick?
Yeah, well, we've seen this over and over again. Once we want to talk about memes, this is another one of those memes, Chinese FUD. Now, here's the interesting thing about this story. The story actually is from the 15th. This is from September 15th. This was the day that these regulations got put into play. Now, didn't make waves like they wanted to make waves. So what happened today? The CCP pushed this story out. You know, the narrative is that it's social media influencers like just started running with the story, but no, the CCP was behind pushing this. You know, they want the story out there. They want one more chance to accumulate. I've been told America has more Bitcoin than you can imagine that they have, and China has 4 times as much Bitcoin as America has, the government, that is. So they've got a lot. They got a lot in this game. They might have been taking advantage of leverage, trying to increase their positions there. Maybe not. I don't know if that's something they really get into, but I do know they are huge holders of Bitcoin. Here's the thing. This story, number one, it's old. Number two, you said transactions. Well, the thing is, crypto ownership is still legal. It specifically says in the document, crypto ownership is still allowed and still legal. So it's not like if you live in China, you got to go sell all your crypto real quick. They said that's fine. It's going to affect, you know, obviously companies, exchanges, new projects maybe. Obviously, we know miners, but this is no news to miners. They've been banned for a while there, and, you know, the government's already making their position. What is all this about? This is all about clearing out Bitcoin for the digital yuan. The digital yuan is going to be a huge fail. It's going to be a huge disaster for China. I think that's kind of part of the plan for the people that are above China making decisions in the world. There are people above China making decisions in the world. But China really wants this to work. They're going to debut it in the Winter Olympics, I believe, for the world to come in and try out the digital yuan. So they're trying to clear everything, you know, get rid of Bitcoin, move it to the side, you know, get it kind of out of the Chinese ecosystem so that way they can really push their digital yuan. In 2017, we saw a very similar story to this. It caused a major correction in Bitcoin in September of 2017. Within 3 months, we still hit an all-time high of $20,000. So we could be looking at something similar here.
Absolutely. And one of the things that you hit on there, BJ, if you could pull this tweet up really quick, one of the things that you hit on was the digital yuan. Now, Robert Kiyosaki said today, China announced this morning a new crackdown on crypto. What does this mean? It means China is about to launch its government crypto coin. Now, if the U.S. follows, the Fed coin means Bitcoin is outlawed. U.S. becomes centralized government just like China. U.S. communism begins and our freedoms end. Rice, talk me through this. What do you think about that?
I mean, there's a lot to be said in what he tweeted out. That's the first time that I'm seeing that. But as Paul was saying, I think, I'm not sure if he said it before we started recording or if it was something he said during the actual stream, but this is not new. December of 2013, China's bank, the Bank of China, People's Bank of China, we're going to be banning Bitcoin. September 2017, the exchange closures. May of 2021, payment gateways banned. June of 2021, mining crackdown. July of 2021, the CCB gets heavy. Just looking at some articles, May 16th, there was China bans financial payment institutions. June 25th, the PBOC tightened ban. And then we had the mining crackdown. July 7th, more stuff about China banning Bitcoin. 4 weeks ago, the People's Bank of China blast Bitcoin and crypto once again 3 weeks ago. So, I mean, this is just something ongoing. It's also the other thing that's really interesting to note about this, aside from the fact that we could be going towards a centralized government here in the future, is that the timing is really impeccable, considering, from what I'm understanding, the options trading are most are going to be expiring today. I think I'm correct with that.
Yep. Last Friday of the month. Yep.
Yeah, and I believe that the way it looks, that they're basically going to be closing with no value. So it's very interesting with the timing, and I think the story might have actually broke before the 15th. I think it might have been earlier this month, and was pushing through in a couple different cycles and didn't get the effects they wanted. And then finally, here at the end of the month, we're getting it. And I think it's getting more attention too, just because of everything that happened with Evergrande. There's just like a lot of spotlight focus on China. So a lot of that stuff is going to create more FUD in a lot of different areas. So it's unfortunate that people don't actually try to fact check this information and see how ongoing this has been. Because how can you be banning something since 2013 and here we are in 2021? Wouldn't it have been banned by now? And I don't think they've ever actually achieved such a banning. And Ben was correct. You can own. It's just they're trying to make the transactions illegal, and it definitely is a gateway leading into their own digital currency.
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly what you just said there, Rice. You know, you'd look at companies like Facebook. How many times has Channel had to ban that? One time. That's it. That's all it took. You know, I think there's a couple other technology companies where they're living the same thing, where it only took one time. Bitcoin, it's been canceled hundreds of times, well, many times, and it's not going anywhere. Paul, let me ask you a question. Do you think that this is all just coordination of FUD to suppress the price because of futures?
You know, I don't think it's necessarily that. I think there's a chance, which Ben had mentioned, that they're actually trying to accumulate, but trying to remove all of the innovation from within their country, all the companies, the miners from within the country, seems to contradict their potential stash of Bitcoin. So while it's possible, it seems somewhat contradictory. Why would you then accumulate a whole bunch of cryptocurrency, but then make it such that your entire country isn't able to innovate and take advantage of that upward price action other than just the government? I do think, though, and I do agree with the potential that they're trying to pave the way, clear the way for their own digital yuan. But I'll say what I think makes me, in a way, kind of excited about it. I think digital yuan, digital dollar are total pieces of garbage from the viewpoint of what are they going to offer to the world. They're not going to actually add any more censorship resistance. Guaranteed, you're not going to be able to send the digital dollar, the digital yuan to various countries that are sanctioned. You won't be able to send that to Iran. You won't barely be able to send a digital yuan to the US without the US flipping out. What it will do, and here's who should be concerned about government digital currencies, are not crypto people. Us cryptocurrency folks, don't even sweat it. Won't affect us at all. It's actually the banks that should be most concerned. Because if you think about what it's like to transfer fiat inside of the US, I've got a Chase account. I want to transfer over to somebody with Wells Fargo. I've got to do a wire transfer, or I have to use some third-party service such as a Venmo or a PayPal. With a digital dollar or the equivalent digital yuan, that basically replaces the payment mechanisms within a country or within countries that use that currency. You no longer have to deal with bank-to-bank transfers or third parties like ACH that allow you to transfer between different incompatible banks. It actually removes that layer. So those are the guys that should be concerned. The Jamie Dimons of the world, you should be concerned, because GovCoin really makes you far less relevant than you are today, at least with respect to payments. Sure, you've got hedging and investments, that's still relevant, but from the viewpoint of payments, you become far, far less relevant. ACH, American Clearinghouse, that should be concerned. SWIFT, in some ways, should be concerned, at least for domestic transfers. And in a way, this is going to make it easier for us to buy crypto. Right now, when I go to buy crypto, I've got all the different options: credit card, I've got to do ACH transfers, Venmo, PayPal, whatnot. Well, I just buy crypto with GovCoin, digital yuan, you name it. I think it's actually a big benefit in the end for the crypto world, and a big detriment to the existing banks, not central banks, but private banks that exist in various countries.
That's a great answer. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate it. Stache, last question coming to you. Now, we all know that this played a big role in what happened with the markets today, right? Do you think that people actually sold because of this? Was it all just institutional selling, or was the sell-off to liquidate anybody that was over leveraged in a position, leverage trading or going long?
Yeah, man, this is not a retail sell-off from what I see. It's really not. I don't think it ever really is. I think this is more of a coordinated move, like you said, to possibly being liquidating some of these shorts or these longs that people have, and they do this in cycles. I don't think that we're seeing a bunch of retail people panicking, going, "Oh my gosh, China's banning it! I gotta sell now! I gotta get out!" Like, who's really doing that? Do you guys know anybody? Does anybody know anybody that literally sold Bitcoin? If you're in chat right now and you sold Bitcoin because of this news, please put your hand up. I don't think there's one single person out there that really believed this and was like, "Oh my gosh, I gotta sell, guys. China's banning it. That means Bitcoin is canceled." You know, the one thing I do know is that China sucks at banning Bitcoin. They've never been able to do it, apparently, because they've tried so many damn times. And so they like to mess with our emotions. And I really do think it's more about market manipulation than anything else out there. Because think about it like this. We're already seeing, the failure of this. What's the name? It's that crazy, that China, it's not the bank. It's like a real estate / organization. What's the name of that? You guys know what I'm talking about.
Evergrande.
Evergrande, there it is. Yeah, I was like, it's on the tip of my damn tongue. You know, that's been hitting the spotlight and has been affecting the markets for sure. So I think out of anything, that's probably going to be more of a concern now than China starts to see, guys, what can we do? They're sitting around like, guys, what can we do to take this fiasco, this debacle out of the spotlight? What do we do, guys? Hey, some guys like, I don't know. What if we just say we ban a Bitcoin again? I mean, everyone's used to it, but this same old trick will work. Even though we've used it time and time again. So boom, they're like, all right, screw it. We'll just throw another ban on Bitcoin, and people will forget all about the actual stuff that's happening behind the scenes. And so no worries, right? I mean, that's the biggest thing, is that it's a smoke and mirrors, man. So it's all market manipulation, in my opinion.
It's all for show, and we know it. I looked over in the chat, and I saw a lot of hands up. So we did see some people that panic sold.
No, I bold. Let me go see, dude.
Go check.
I got that up right
check.
now.
Absolutely, there's
Please
certainly
listen
were people
to
that
us.
panic sold today.
Yeah.
I'd say if I was in my first
Ben.
few months of Bitcoin, I would have panic sold.
Ben,
Right?
that's a
what
good
are you
point.
teaching- What are you
It's
teaching
just a normal
your
reaction.
flock here, man? What are you teaching your flock here, Ben? Come on.
No, these are people that came over from your channel.
That's on you.
No, those people came over from your channel. So my people know not to sell. Don't sell your Bitcoin. Don't sell your Ethereum.
It's only the Stache community you sold.
We're stashers, bro. We're stashers on my channel. This is what we do. We stash
for every one person that raised their hand, there's 10 that
Stash until China fuds.
Yes. Yeah, well, you know what's going to happen again. All right, well, that's all the questions that I have for you. So that means Stache, you took it today.
He pushed it over the top. He
got it. He came from behind there to win with that last question. Great job. So let's hear what you leave us with some parting words, please.
So yeah, if you guys, honestly, if you guys are affected by some of these market things, you just always, when you start to see things like this happen, big news that you think is going to move the needle, think about the long-term implications. Keep a long-term mentality, because that's really where the big money is at, man. You don't see the Warren Buffetts of the world move by little moves like this and little events like this. They're long-term thinkers. They're accumulating over time, making the good plays, waiting for the time when their blood is in the streets, even if it's your own blood, and you scoop it up then. And then you just keep stashing. Don't sell those assets. That's how the rich do it. So play like some of those people too, and go buy my NFTs.
Scoop up that blood.
There you go. Go scoop up some blood. All right, y'all. It's been a great week here at Around the Blockchain, but that's going to do it for this week. Have yourself a great weekend. Get outside, get some fresh air. We'll see you back here Monday, 5 p.m. Around the Blockchain. See you next week.